Hello everybody and welcome back to the AOR F1 2016 League Season 12 Championship. It's round 4, the Russian Grand Prix, and we have no previous winners or pole positions from the seasons gone by in AOR. I'm Matthew Gallagher, and as you can see from the previous race, there was a lot of wet weather, there was a bit of China involved, which is one of my favourite tracks, and of course, something else that is my favourite, it's my co-commentator, Justin.
Thanks for having me, Matt. Really looking forward to this. I know Sochi not always puts up the most interesting races, but these guys in AOR, they always put up a good race, so I think we're in for a good one.
There's a bit of a deliberation between a few of the guys in the commentary box about whether it's 18 or 19 turns, but we've got 18 turns, 5.84 kilometres and 27 laps ahead of us. The tyres available, super soft, medium, and then obviously the inters and wets, which we're all praying for is a bit of wet weather. But what are we waiting for? Let's get straight into the qualifying comparison.
Welcome to the qualifying comparison for this round 4 of the AOR Season 12 Championship. We're in Russia today, looking at a battle between the bananas of Sayaryu on the left and Burnout F1 on the right. Opening up the lap with a full throttle blast with the use of DRS down into turn 1. Sayaryu with a car coming out of the pits on the right, nothing more than distraction as both drivers stamp on the brake pedal just before the 100 metre board on the left. Important to keep the car as straight as possible on the exit to maximise traction, and of course Sayaryu using that early upshift technique of his to ensure traction is not an issue. Both drivers now hug the inside curve around this what feels like never-ending left-hander while breaking the shadow down to third gear and glancing through this 90-degree right-hander. Keeping the car left this short blast, we now head into sector 2. Another 90-degree right-hander ahead of Sayaryu on the left, around a car length ahead, already at the pause point. Up next is turn 7, which is far more difficult than it looks as the apex is so very hard to spot, so nailing that is a skill that is required, but both drivers showing no signs of issues through there. Over to the right hand side of the track to open up this quite fast left hander, difference in gear being used, showing that Sayaryu looking to have a bit more confidence in his car at this point of the lap. Important right hander now as it leads onto the back straight and second DRS zone, so by losing the back end like Burnout has, that will cost him time all the way down this straight as we fly into the third and final sector of the lap. Heavy braking once again, trying to avoid a lock-up on the way in here on the front tyres, as we need to compromise the exit slightly to allow the car the best chance to get through this off-camber left-hand turn. The back end always wanting to step out as we come to the blind apex of turn 15, again compromising the exit to open up turn 16 that lies just ahead, as it's just 90-degree corners left at this point of the lap. Short blast to the penultimate corner, again Sayaryu coming across some traffic, but it won't impede him as both drivers complete their laps, less than 4 tenths between them, but in this epic qualifying session still 10 cars have managed to fit themselves between the two Renaults. Sayaryu 5th, Burnout F1 16th, and now back to your main commentators for the full qualifying classifications.
Thank you, Noble2909, for that side-by-side qualifying comparison. So as you guys could see, the Renaults of Sayaryu and Burnout F1 separated by just about 4 tenths of a second, less than 4 tenths of a second, in fact, and yet find themselves in 5th and 16th position. Up at the front, it was a breakaway performance for the Flying Finn, who put in a 135.5, nearly 3 tenths quicker than Strees and a further 2 tenths quicker than RS Falcon. Then it gets very, very tight. CRL Rosberg in 4th position. Then comes Sayaryu, then Ycoms, Andre BCF 1997 with a fantastic result in 7th position. TRL Limitless way down in 8th in the Haas. Then comes STS F1 Alonso in 9th position. AOR Reversal, hot off the heels of his podium, gets it into the top 10. Just barely. Lucky Dog 2000 now, Limitless's teammate, down in 11th, 8 tenths off of the pole position time. In 12th, we've got Leobot in the Toro Rosso. Then comes CRL Hamilton in 13th. Then comes Franglish in 14th. SB Snowy in 15th. Burnout F1 in 16th. Jason 97 F1 in 17th position. And Cupid in 18th. The gap from 4th to 18th separated by just 4 tenths of a second. We've got 14 drivers today, all within half a second of each other in qualifying. Stu with a bit of a difficult qualifying performance, down in 19th position. Then we've got Mike Marshmallow, now a full-time driver, and then 6 Skills bringing up the rear with the slowest time in qualifying today, as TRL Martin is not in the race or in qualifying for today. And that's how the grid looks for today's Russian Grand Prix. It's now time for the race.
It's race time. It's the Russian Grand Prix, and this music gets me going every single time. I don't think it'll ever get boring for all of these rounds that we have ahead of us for this AOR Season 12 Championship. It's the Russian Grand Prix, a track that is going to provide probably a little bit of interesting action. It's a newer addition to the F1 calendar, and Justin, no % chance of rain, so it's all down to the drivers and potentially strategy, although tyre wear not looking particularly heavy around here.
Yeah, one stop very likely. I imagine the top 10, well, yeah, all of the top 10 drivers are starting on the super softs, probably then just doing one stop onto the softs. But as you said, no chance of rain. It is clear blue skies here in Russia. So yeah, it's going to be more down to pace rather than anything else. So it's a little bit different from the races that we've seen, for example, in Australia and China.
We've got a few people up towards the front of the grid. As we saw, the qualifying was very close between 4th and 18th place. Only 8/10 I think it was separating all of them, which is a crazy gap considering there's 14 drivers in that. So but we've got a few different names up at the front there. We've got Strees, we've got Falcon as well. Obviously they were kind of maybe 5th, 6th, 7th kind of area, but they've kind of pulled themselves a pretty good qualifying performance for Russia at least. And then we've got a few people further down the grid. TR Limitless, one of them to be mentioned, in 8th position. And, you know, there's a few others. There's Cupid down in 18th. So it's going to be interesting to see how these guys come through the field.
Seems Leobot's a little bit more comfortable at this circuit, though, putting it a little bit further up than maybe we've seen him in this season so far. He's in 12th after qualifying 8/10 off of pole position. AOR Reversal, after a fantastic race in China, he's put it into 10th position, so he's the last of the drivers that will have to start on the tires that he qualified on.
It's also worth mentioning that Tyrrell Martin is missing for this race. He did not decide to rock up with his F1 car onto the grid for this race, so he is missing, which is unfortunate. And obviously this is the first AOR League race around Russia, so we have no stats to give you in terms of previous winners, as you would have seen in the introductory part to this video. But these guys are coming round the last sector, or about to start the last sector, I think. Where's the split for that? I can't really remember, but it's going to be an interesting one. There's quite a lot of 90-degree corners, especially in this last sector. 2 of these are right-handers, and, well, the Flying Finn, a great pole position once again, and can he add another victory? And it'll be the 3rd of the season if he can win here for round 4 in Russia.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what he is hoping for from pole position, and he's given himself the best opportunity. It is a very long run down towards turn 2. A lot of people would call it turn 1, but it is a long run down towards turn 2, and Strees and RS Falcon are going to be picking up a heck of a slipstream on that run down.
So the drivers now slotting into their allocated positions that they qualified in. Burnout down in 16th in that Renault, and the drivers are ready for this Russian Grand Prix. The lights are coming on now for round 4. Lights out and away we go. I think I'd probably be RS Falcon if I could choose, with the slipstream that he is going to receive down towards turn 2. The Flying Finn getting a decent start, but Strees slightly better in the slipstream. Finn going very defensive. Strees almost being pushed in the wall. There's Sierra Rosberg taking the racing line into turn 2 now, and Ciaru very late on the brakes, just about managing to keep that rear end intact. Falcon runs wide. Then you've got a little bit of contact between Stu and Mike Marshmallow, who is now a full-time member of this league. Tyrrell Limitless has not gained any positions as of yet from the start, but then dives up the inside of not one but 2 cars. Can he make this one stick? No, a little bit of contact with Ycoms' right front tyre there, and actually loses a position back now down to 9th place, so he is down 1 from his qualifying spot. Andre BCF up into 8th place now, and looking to see if he can make any more moves. Burnout up to 12th from 16th on the grid. A great start from him round the outside as well of Cyril Hamilton on the soft compound tyre, so not as much grip for Hamilton at the start of this race. But Burnout, a great start, 5 positions gained. But as out in front, you've got the Flying Finn, who is maintaining that great start to the season.
Yep, no DRS just yet. I have to say, that start from Zayaru was very exciting. I mean, he was very brave going up the middle there. Rosberg, though, defending now from Falcon. He's trying to get that 3rd place position back. He's going to have to go the long way around turn 14. Oh, and there goes Strees off to the side. That's going to lose him a couple of positions. I don't know if he's got any damage as a result of that. Leobot way down in 20th. I even mentioned what a decent qualifying it was for him today. Falcon looks like with the inside line at turn 17. No! Oh, he gets a little bump from Rosberg. That's going to cause him to lose a position to Strees, and here comes Sayaru. He's going to go up the inside at the penultimate corner, and that has not been... Oh, and RS Falcon gets hung out to dry outside off the circuit, and he just can't get back on. There's just too many cars. Falcon drops to P9.
Yeah, Limitless up into P6 now. There's a bit of contact for Falcon there, who got pushed wide from Ciario, who I think got tagged onto his side pod slightly. But Tierra Limitless now down to 8th again with the slipstream, and then very late on the brakes. Oh, that was millimetre close with Ycoms' rear diffuser there. Oh my days. But makes a position up anyway into 7th now. So Limitless up and down, up and down. Leobot now up to 18th place, as he was in 20th, as you mentioned, Justin. Stu now going around the outside and now up the inside, as that's Falcon losing the back end of that McLaren. And we have got a very hectic start to this Russian Grand Prix. It looks like it's almost 3 abreast, as Hamilton having a look up the inside, but nothing doing. AOR Reversal getting tagged on his side pod, and Leobot saying thank you very much. I'm up to 15th now with, I think that was 3 cars that were being tangled up there. Lucky Dog down in 19th, more contact. Andre BCF, that's a wheel gone as well for AOR, Hamilton in that Mercedes. So Hamilton, a very slight contact, but with the sensitive damage model that we have on, that is his wheel completely gone. Unfortunate for the Mercedes driver there. Leobot still, though, trying to take advantage of all the mistakes and crashes and collisions that are happening at the start of this Russian Grand Prix. And you can explain these opening few laps as anything but clean, Justin.
Yeah, this has been absolutely hectic. I mean, we've seen people taking 2, 3, 4 positions. I mean, RS Falcon dropped from 3rd to 11th over the course of half a lap, losing 8 positions. Unbelievable. Mike Marshmallow now, though, up into 12th position after starting from 20th, and he's on the prime tires as well. CRL Rosberg was on those prime tires as well. I was going to tip my hat to him for a good strategy call on that one, but unfortunately his race is over already. But here comes Sayaryu now with the DRS being activated now. He's going to have to go around the outside at turn 2 on CRL Rosberg here. He's picking up a nice slipstream off of Strees as well. Very late on the brakes. Holy cow. Again, just millimeters, maybe centimeters on that occasion, but still very, very close. Mike Marshmallow now up into 11th position and on the prime tires as well. I have to say, after the opening 2 laps that we've had, 3 laps that we've had, it looks like he has been the big winner out of all of this. Ycoms losing a position now. Limitless up into 5th position, trying to make it 4th now at the inside on CRL Rosberg, and it looks like he has done that perfectly well. He's still got to keep an eye on his mirrors, though. Rosberg not far behind, but it does look like he's going to hold on to that position now. I can't believe it's only been 2.5 laps of racing now, but it really, look at the gap, look at the mini-map. We haven't even seen the Flying Finn recently, and apparently that's the reason why. The gap between them, that's got to be 3, 4, 5 seconds even, Matty.
Yeah, crazy start from Flying Finn, just keeping out of all the trouble that happened behind him, running away from all the collisions, and that is the result, as Leobot is now going to try and take Mike Marshmallow's 11th place, which he does indeed, and that's a Ferrari running very wide of CRL Rosberg, who was having a great start to this race, up in the podium position at one point, and had a great qualifying, which enabled him to get into P3, but now it looks like he's down to 8th. Yes, he is indeed, as Ycoms goes up the inside of Burnout F1 now, who has had a fantastic start from 18th on the grid, and now he's going to lose another position, though, as we've now cut to Jason, who is in 14th now, and well, I think he just made a position up there against Andre, as Stu in 10th position gets a 3-second time penalty. Multiple warnings only into lap 4, so he needs to stay on the track. Russia, a very difficult track to stay within the track limits, so it'll be very interesting to see how many penalties happen as Limitless up the inside and up into P3 now, onto the podium as Stu makes a bit of contact with Snowy's rear diffuser and the wall then. I think they have lost a tiny bit of front wing, but Ciari losing a position to Limitless, who has changed positions more times than I can even count in these first few laps, but he's going the right way now, Justin.
Yep, he is definitely going the right way, as is Burnout F1. As you mentioned, a fantastic start for him. Started from 16th, now up into 7th. 9 positions gained in just 3 laps of racing, which is incredible for the Renault driver. Here's his teammate Sayaryu trying to get back behind TRL Limitless after losing that 3rd place position earlier in the lap, and I'm sure Sayaryu absolutely wants to get that back. Back on board with RS Falcon as he now makes contact with the back of Mike Marshmallow. He's got some pretty significant front wing damage on the left side of his front wing. I'm not sure if that happened just now from the Mike Marshmallow contact or if that happened in the first 3 laps of absolute craziness, but it's been a terrible start for RS Falcon, who started from the 2nd row of the grid. And then look at the slipstream that Leobot gets on Burnout F1. He's going to take back that 7th place position after starting from 12th, dropping to 20th, and now he's back up to 7th. So I don't know. I think Leobot might win for the most number of positions gained, and there he goes. He's going to, or positions changed rather, because he's going to lose another one to Burnout F1, who retakes that 7th place position as we come to the end of lap 4 now. On board with Stu now, one of those drivers on the soft compound tires, and it looks like he's already coming into the pits.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's got any front wing damage there. No, it seems like these guys are just changing on lap 4 on the super soft
Falcon's
tyres.
got wing damage. I don't know about the others, but I know Falcon had heavy
one of the
front
guys
wing damage.
didn't have any damage by the looks of things. Yeah, so Stu is changing his front wing and going onto another set of super softs. Did he just change?
He was on the softs.
Oh, he was on the softs. Okay, so he's onto the super softs. And then we've got a change here, another front wing. So they are all changing their front wings by the looks of things. So a lot of damage that has occurred. Oh no, Ciario in the wall, and that's Strees as well. Contact between the side pods. I think that the two cars just got completely interlinked there, and both of them flying into the wall. It looks like Ciario's going to wait potentially for Strees, but Strees was facing the wrong way, so he's got a long wait to do if he is going to wait for the Red Bull driver there. But Ciario, I'm not sure if that was a real mistake from either or just a little bit of a game glitch because of the two tagging along, but Ciario maybe not giving as much space as he probably should have, and he's lost quite a chunk of his front wing as well, which is going to hurt him quite a lot throughout this this track that, you know, relies quite a lot on downforce, especially in that last sector, which is very twisty. And Leobot up into 6th place now. So Leobot, you know, we were very disappointed how far he was down, and now he's in 6th. Defending from Burnout, who these two cannot be separated as he breaks very late, too late in fact, and Leobot's going to hang it around the outside. Surely much better traction as now Mike Marshmallow is getting stuck into this league with SB Snowy, and Mike's on the soft tyres as well, so he's doing very well up in 9th, but then gets a penalty because he cut the corner, and Snowy looks like he cut the corner as well as Jason's now getting stuck in and may well get himself up into the points. He does indeed, up the inside and up into 10th place. It looks like Snowy is going into the pits by the looks of that proximity arrow. And, well, I mean, I have to kind of catch my breath a little bit as Limitless is now coming under pressure from STS F1 Alonso. And up the inside he goes, does the Williams driver, and up into P2. Limitless not streaking away as we may well expect the Limitless to do. But we've kind of found out in these first few rounds, Justin, that this league is extremely competitive.
Yes, very, very competitive. I mean, as it's always been, but it turns out this season is no different. Leobot tagging the back of Burnout through turn 4 there. And then also a little bit of contact with CRL Rosberg as Rosberg dives up the inside. Interestingly, Andre BCF 1997 on the medium compound tires, so he's going to try and go to the end of this race, one would assume, on that set of medium compound tires. RS Falcon now back up into 15th position after making that very early pit stop. So we're going to see a replay of the start from the Flying Finn's perspective, who, again, just to remind you, everybody, is several seconds up ahead. Very, very defensive, just really holding that inside line, and a jump start penalty.
Yeah, Franglish had a completely out of sync lights there. Everyone else had gone and he was still on 4 lights. I'd be absolutely fuming if I was him. But on board with Reversal now, he had to make
as well.
Yeah, and Reversal had to make an early pit stop, and that's why, because he tagged the wall there. Sorry, Justin. And I mean, I don't know what you do really at that stage. Obviously, he jumped the start as now Leobot gets tagged, and that's where he goes all the way down to 20th, but now up into 6th place, I think, is Leobot. So a great drive from him, whereas everyone else just seemed to collide in the first few laps.
Yeah, Leobot losing 8 positions on lap 1, and then over the course of the next handful of laps, gaining 14 positions. So you have to say he's on fire. That was the replay of when RS Falcon just got hung out to dry at the penultimate corner, and then at the final corner, he just got pushed off the circuit by Sayaryu, and then just couldn't find a way back onto the circuit. There was just too many cars, and that's really how this race has been going. It's just clusters of cars. I mean, you know, you're not seeing the kind of line, the procession of cars one by one by one. No, nothing like that here in AOR. No, it is just clusters of cars just battling it out constantly, lap after lap. Here's Burnout on Sayaryu, actually. This is on lap 6, and he's actually done it. He's overtaken his teammate after starting gosh know how many positions behind him. 11 positions behind he started. Sayaryu into the pits on lap 7 for his front wing change. And
my!
And that is a tough pill to swallow right there for RS Falcon. Again, started in this race in 3rd position in qualifying. One of only 2 drivers to be within half a second of the Flying Finn. And unfortunately, his race is over.
So Limitless now getting past Alonso. It's also worth mentioning as they get very close into that right-hander, but STS F1 Alonso is actually last in the championship going into this race, and he is currently on the podium. So I mean, that's just kind of showing that maybe he's great around Russia, as Lucky Dog gets a penalty as well, and almost another tap of the wall there, but he's all the way down very far away from the points, so I'm not sure if that penalty is going to mean too much. CRU in 12th place after that front wing change on the soft tyres, and it's really showing this track. I mean, if I was to pick a track or a few tracks that I think would catch a lot of drivers out, I wouldn't have put Russia up there because there are quite a few runoff areas. The walls aren't too close, but it seemed like a lot of people are getting stuck into other people's cars and crashing as Alonso goes up the inside again of Limitless there and back up into P2. Burnout and Leobot, they are just hanging out for this entire race by the looks of things, as Leobot then takes the position back round the outside. No! Contact with Burnout. Leobot cutting almost Burnout off there. A little bit well, rude, you'd have to say, from Leobot, who probably could have given Burnout a little bit more space there as he tapped the rear. Oh god, Rosberg almost flying into the wall as well. But yeah, just, I mean, Russia wouldn't, I don't know for you, but for me personally, I wouldn't have put Russia as one of the ones that's more difficult.
Yeah, I mean, especially a dry Russia. You know, maybe if it had been wet, I could totally understand it. But yeah, it really seems, just like you said, it's not so much that these guys are they're not finding the barriers, which can be very close at certain corners. As you mentioned, lots of, you can see plenty of runoff area there. I believe that was turn 11. But yeah, it's not so much the barriers they're making contact with as so much as it is each other. And it's very surprising. I don't think. Oh gosh! And again, we see it. Ycoms not making contact with the barrier or anything, but he tags the back of Limitless. He can't get facing the correct way. He's going to lose a number of positions as a result of that's been nearly taking out Mike Marshmallow as well. And now he finds himself in 10th position. I don't believe he's stopped yet, if I'm not mistaken. But that's now going to promote Burnout F1 up into 5th position. And is that Leobot ahead of him? Yes, so Leobot now currently ahead of Burnout, but we'll see how long that lasts for.
Up into P4, Leobot driving the absolute wheels off his car. Let's hope he stays with 4 until the end of lap 27. But Leobot, what a fantastic drive from him so far. Burnout having a great race as well. But Sierra Rosberg wants to make up a few positions after his earlier mistakes. And he's going to go round the outside is Rosberg, but he's going to run off the track. Surely he's going to have to give... Oh no, more contact. Burnout in the wall. Rosberg and Burnout colliding. And, well, I'm not really sure who's to blame there. Obviously, Rosberg running off the track, but Burnout essentially just driving into him, with Rosberg just obviously naturally coming back onto the racing line. And, well, I mean, these guys just aren't learning to give each other a little bit of racing room today for some reason. It's very much just banging wheels and hoping for the best. And a lot of people are coming off very, very badly. One of them being Ycoms, who went for a very, very audacious move on TRL Limitless, and it did not pay off. Fortunately for Limitless, he remains unscathed as Alonso runs wide, and that's going to cost him a lot of time with the traction out there. You're not going to get any purchase, and Limitless flying past with DRS as well, back up into P2. But let's just mention the flying Finn. He is absolutely gone.
Yep. He's just destroying the competition in this race. It's
as
very
he has
surprising.
done in other rounds as well.
Right, yeah, it's very surprising because the DRS and the slipstream is super powerful here at Sochi. So, I mean, in a lot of ways, in a lot of races and a lot of leagues and stuff like that, you might actually think that trying to undercut somebody is actually going to lose you time because you pit yourself out of that slipstream, out of that DRS. You're going to lose time as a result of it, especially with the low tire wear that you have here. But yeah, it really just doesn't seem to be that is the case. On board with Leobot now, who has managed to break away after Burnout's issues. He's now in 4th position ahead of Jason97 F1 and with a decent-sized gap to STS F1, Alonso, and TRL Limitless up ahead, but those guys are battling. So we could see Leobot getting involved in these podium position battles. But yeah, you know, like you said, this definitely seems a little bit more aggressive. Maybe possibly the honeymoon period of this season is over now that these guys have started feeling each other out and what kind of racing to expect for this season. It's just the gloves are off now. I guess it's time to find out what happens when people start being polite and all of that. So yeah, we're not even at the halfway point of this race, and it has just been absolutely mental.
I reckon we might be seeing a few stewards' inquiries after this race from all the collisions that we've had. So it'll be interesting to see on the race results what gets deemed a penalty and unfair driving, etc. But Ciario in 9th place at the moment, not having a great showing, but obviously the way this race has gone, he's in 9th at the moment, but we never know what's going to happen ahead. There may well be a few more collisions along the way. Jason up in 5th now, obviously has not pitted yet. And Marshmallow has not pitted either on the soft tyres. Probably the better of the two tyres to be on right now, purely because they are a little bit more durable, and the super softs probably starting to wear out now as they're coming into the pits. Does Jason come into the pits this lap? We will find out very shortly. But Mike Marshmallow having a decent race now that he is a solidified member of this AOR F1 League. Does Jason dive into the pits? No, he does not. He carries on for another lap. These super softs are going quite far into the race, which shows that, you know, going onto the soft tyres is really not going to be an issue to do a one-stop. So Jason will be thinking that, as we now have Limitless in the pits from P2, I believe that was, and he goes onto these soft compound tyres. Gets held slightly though, as Alonso comes into the pits with him, and he loses that position, and Mike Marshmallow and Jason are going to go very, very close into this right-hander. Jason up the inside, making it stick. Mike Marshmallow getting a bit of oversteer there and not being able to take advantage of Jason's slightly compromised line. Astute gets past Cyril Rosberg and up into 10th.
You know, having that kink in the DRS zone really makes things exciting sometimes. Just as Stu is trying to switch from the left side of the track to the right side of the track, I mean, you could just really see. I mean, I was certainly pretty nervous for him. On board now with Burnout F1 on the soft compound tires, trying to make up a position on AOR Reversal. They're going to be side-by-side through that aforementioned kink. And it looks like, no, they're still side-by-side. And there we go. Burnout, I believe, is going to take a position into the braking zone. Yes, he is. But yeah, back onto the battle for third. And I'm not sure what happened there, but Mike Marshmallow, as you mentioned, on the soft compound tires, probably feeling a little bit better in comparison to the super softs. As you mentioned, I would really like to see what one of these drivers' percent looks like, the tire percentage looks like, because I would love to know what the tire wear is like around this circuit as we come to the end of lap 11. Now, Leobot up into second position and running in lean. That's one thing I have been looking at, Matty, is the fuel mix and how much fuel these guys have spare, and there is not very much spare fuel. I imagine lots of rich mix running in the opening laps.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's a lot of areas that they can sort of try and stretch out their engine in the rich fuel mixtures, especially if they're trying to do a lot of overtaking, which we've seen in these first 12 laps. So Leobot comes into the pits from a fantastic position, and will he come back out in fourth place, or net fourth place at least? But and that's Jason in the pits as well, who looks like he's recording on a potato. Burnout as well, but there does seem to be a little bit of glitching going on with Jason's recording camera. But Limitless and Alonso still cannot be separated, and Limitless braking a lot later. And can he make that one stick? Runs just slightly off the track there. Alonso's going to hang it around the outside, and these two are not going to be catching Flying Finn anytime soon as they're going side by side round this long left-hander. Surely Alonso will have... No, does not have the advantage as Limitless brakes very late. And, oh no, but he got caught on the curb. Is that Alonso going to get back up the inside? I think he is as well, actually, here. Alonso, does he go up the inside? He does indeed, but Limitless is hanging it around the outside. They have been side by side for the last three corners. How many more can they do without crashing? Let's have a look and see. Limitless has to concede the position to Alonso, and that's some great fight from the guy that is the bottom of the championship. He's not going to be the bottom at the end of this race, I don't think, Justin, unless something catastrophic happens.
Yeah, let's not put the commentator's curse on him, but yeah, that was a bit of fantastic racing from the two of them as Burnout F1 loses the back end coming out of turn 5. That's going to lose him a position to my driver of the day last time out in China, AOR Reversal. This Sauber team, you have to say, is looking a little bit more competitive than we maybe would have thought after the first two races. Now that we've seen that fantastic result from Reversal and with Mike Marshmallow performing surprisingly well in this race. Leobot did come out in 6th position, by the way, after his pit stop. He came out just behind this. Oh, gosh. Oh, no. Oh, JD. Oh, no. Oh, that is... Oh, no. And JD has clunked the inside wall at turn 17. That's pushed him into the outside wall at turn 17, and that's going to put him down into 11th position with no more stops to make yet, or no more stops to make. So, yeah, that is unfortunate for him. But that means that Alonso now has to worry about Leobot instead of JD. Poor Alonso.
Late.
Goes up the inside, does Leobot. He's going to run very, very wide, though, which means Alonso is going to hang on to that position. But just when STS F1 Alonso was thinking maybe his day was going to be a little bit easier thanks to that mistake from JD, here comes Leobot just to continue challenging him for that position.
A very uncharacteristic mistake from TRL Limitless there. And he drops down to outside of the points now. He is having a terrible start to the season, as Burnout is coming under pressure from AOR Reversal on the mediums, who may well have cut that corner slightly. He might well have got his wrist slapped by the stewards, but that's a battle for 17th and 18th respectively. But yeah, very uncharacteristic from Limitless, and the start to his season, I think he probably would have thought in season 10 that he had a bad start to the season when Martin won the first 4 races, but I'm pretty sure Limitless was still on the podium at least. But this time out, well, Limitless has a lot of work to do if he wants to win this championship.
Yep. One guy that doesn't have a whole lot of work to do in today's race anyway, I won't mention the championship, but in today's race is the Flying Finn as he makes his pit stop, and he's just having a look at some of the penalties and warnings that people are getting. He's just, having a casual day. It looks like he is going to pit from the lead, and he's going to come out in the lead. He's actually going to come out ahead of Mike Marshmallow, who is one of those few drivers alongside Six Skills, who is currently in 3rd position. Those two guys haven't stopped yet, and the Flying Finn pits from 1st and comes out in 1st. Oh, and there is Cupid, who is just having an awful, awful weekend. Qualified in 18th, down in 14th. Here goes Leopard on SDS F1 Alonso. Let's see if he can nail the braking this time for turn 2. He does find his apex very nicely, and he's going to hold on to that position for right now. We'll see if Alonso tries to shoot it up the inside at turn number 5 as they make their way around that very long left-hander. Lucky Dog, way down in last position, has caught up to this battle between Burnout F1 and AOR Reversal. The 2 cars ahead of him on those medium compound tires, and a much better exit. Although it looks like, oh, okay, never mind. I was seeing RS Falcon Softs. Yeah, he's on mediums as well. And he got a much better exit out of that final corner. He's going to shoot up the inside at turn number 2 on Reversal, and it looks like a straightforward maneuver for him. No excitement there. Oh, let's see at the exit though. Is he going to cut him off? No, he leaves him room at the inside of the left-hander. That's interesting. I suppose he wants the inside corner for this right-hander, but Reversal, which is the better run, is going to be able to take the racing line.
Yeah, definitely. So this battle, obviously, very, we like to see it. Obviously, they're not battling for any points or anywhere near the points, unfortunately, but we still like to see the fighting spirit, no matter whereabouts they are, and I think everyone just really does enjoy a bit of racing. With Ciaru now up in 6th position now, after his pretty adventurous race, you have to say, as we've just gone past the half race distance. Flying Finn, he is literally flying. He is essentially doing what a Noble did back in seasons gone by. And, well, he's done it quite a few times already this season. So the Flying Finn looking very much the favourite for the championship so far. Leobot sets the fastest lap of the race, which is good to see. So maybe he'll start to make some inroads on the guys ahead. With Burnout F1 and AOR Reversal still battling hard, which we like to see. Stu
and
in
Lucky
7th.
Dog just behind.
And Lucky Dog as well. Yep, and Stu coming into... Oh, that's going to be a corner cut. I was going to say, I saw that from an absolute mile off, and that's 3 seconds time penalty for Stu as well. So there's penalties racking up everywhere, Justin, and I don't think this race will be over even until after the checkered flag.
Yeah, because, I mean, there are going to be penalties.
Oh,
that
God,
were
how's he not got a penalty for that?
Back on board with Lucky Dog now. Again, he's just following in this battle between Burnout F1 and Reversal. Are they going to make it 3 wide into turn 2? They are briefly, but it looks like AOR Reversal is going to lose out as the only driver not with the DRS. Oh, gosh, did they make contact there? I'm not sure if Lucky Dog touched Burnout there or not. The cars behind Lucky Dog still side by side through this left-hander. I'm not sure who's going to come out on top. Actually, Burnout is going to try and shoot it up the inside of this right-hander here. Oh, wow. Oh, no, slight contact. Gave him some oversteer, and that's going to send Burnout F1 into the inside barrier. He's got significant front wing damage. I don't know for sure if that was actually Lucky Dog's fault. It really seemed like he actually did give room at the inside of the corner, so I won't really weigh in on whose fault that was. But yeah, that is an unfortunate one for them, for those guys way down at the back.
Session as well. So
yeah. So it looks like he is pretty frustrated. Well, yeah, he was already at the back and would have needed to make another pit stop. So.
Yes, I mean, it's obviously, it's a completely lost cause, unfortunately. The Flying Finn setting the fast lap of the race, absolutely cruising out in front, making the rest of the competition just look slow, to be honest. I mean, he has not had any issues.
The 2 cars behind him still need to stop.
Yeah, still haven't even pitted, so
exactly.
He has an absolutely mammoth lead. As we now have some replay cameras from the man who just retired, I'm assuming, Burnout F1, as Franglish and a Red Bull. I'm not sure who those are, which is not ideal. Strees, thank you very much to the people in my ear. So Strees and Franglish are going to go side by side through this long left-hander. Who is going to come out on top? I'm going to guess maybe the Red Bull, who'll have the inside line back on. No, Strees does not dive back up the inside. So that was a pretty decent move there, as Lucky Dog is up into 15th now. a lot of guys around him on the media. Oh no, not again. Oh, another penalty. These guys are struggling with that. Oh no, that's a corner cut as well. Oh no. Ycoms with another penalty slapped onto his wrists. Hopefully we're not going to see one from Leobot, who's going to be passing Six Skills, who is one of the guys who is yet to pit, and Mike Marshmallow as well, another guy yet to pit. So Leobot is up in a net second place right now, which is unbelievable driving.
From 12th to 20th to 2nd. I mean, that is a hell
Max
of a
Verstappen,
drive.
eat your heart out.
Yeah, exactly. That's an incredible performance from Leobot. Honestly, that's the kind of performance I think we were expecting from Leobot all season long, as Mike Marshmallow finally decides to come into the pits to get off of those prime tires and go onto the super softs, one would assume, with just 11 laps remaining in this race. So that's going to drop him way down, actually. Here comes 6 more cars. He's possibly going to lose these 2 positions, as well as these 2 guys are coming around the final corner. Yes, he is, I think. So there goes those 3 cars. Here comes the other 2. He's out of the pits now. He is accelerating, but the other cars behind him will be going quite a bit faster. And there they are. That is the Franglish and Strees battle that we were talking about. He comes out just ahead of those 2 guys as Strees cuts off Franglish. Into turn 2 they go. And it looks like he is going to hang on to that just barely. AOR Reversal doing his best to make his way into the pit entrance and struggling quite a bit to do so. On board with Stu on those super softs with Ycoms behind. So the 2 Force Indias are doing pretty well up in 6th and 7th. Not been their best race of the season so far, but they do have 2 cars into the points. And Stu pitted on lap 4 with these super soft tires. So it's already been 13 laps for him. Is he going to be able to do 10 more? Can he do 23 laps on a set of super softs?
I mean, he can try. I don't think he'll have 4 tyres to last him the entire race if he does continue on those super softs, but it'll be interesting to see if he can stretch it 23 laps. That'd be an absolutely incredible feat, but I think he's going to have to be driving like Ciario does with all the upshifting and trying to minimise the wheel spin if he wants to have any chance of that. But I'm pretty sure he'll just come into the pits maybe for another set of super softs. We will see. I mean, if I was Stu, I'd probably just try and risk it, depending on what the tyre wear. If it was saying 60-70%, I'd be kind of coming into the pits now. But Jason is coming under pressure from Limitless, who is in 9th, obviously with slight front wing damage after that collision with the wall, which is
2 collisions.
Yeah, well, I'm still slightly flabbergasted by that, but either way, Limitless is going to get back up into 8th position. He has changed positions many times this race, most of the time happening in the first 4 laps, but Limitless back up into 8th, showing his fighting spirit and trying to get that Haas up as far as he possibly can. Ciario trying to catch STS F1 Alonso now, who is having still a fantastic race. Cupid sets the fast lap of the race despite being in the wall and upside down and round many 2 times for our liking, but I think he's in last position just trying to set a fastest lap, which is I guess entertaining him to some extent. Sierra Rosberg down in 10th position after being in a podium position for a little bit of this race in the first stint, as that's a corner cut, that's another penalty, and we are seeing too many of those round here. But it is so difficult to keep 4 wheels on the track because, you know, you don't see any walls, you see a curb and you kind of turn a little bit too early, and that's it, as Ycoms gets through Stu finally, who, as we say, is on those very old super softs. Jason is going to take that position away from Limitless now, who is demoted back to 9th as we pause in time. And Limitless is going to hang around the outside again, potentially. Jason goes defensive. I don't think Limitless will have any way round, especially with his lack of downforce, and he can't do anything. Oh, gosh, I'm not sure if that was oversteer or a little bit of contact. I think that was oversteer. But Limitless remains in 9th, and Ciario shaping up a move on Alonso as 6 Skills is in the pits.
Yep, so that's gonna take care of that for those guys. But yeah, Ciario is gonna have to go the long way around the outside unless he can just get the job done before the braking zone, which he has done. Limitless versus Jason 97 F1 round whatever we're on now, up the inside of turn number 2, and he's got Mike Marshmallow and CRL Rosberg not far behind either. Rosberg though with some troubles into turn 2. That's going to push him wide and lose him a position to Mike Marshmallow, who again is on the super soft tires. Again, Mike Marshmallow started this race on the soft compound tires, And early on, you know, I pipped him as a potential threat because not only is he on the softer compound tires than these cars ahead, but they're also fresher as well. So the delta difference, the time improvement that he's going to have on these guys is going to be massive. He just really needs to try and find a way cleanly through this battle, because there's nothing more difficult than trying to get through a battle. You know, overtaking one car is infinitely easier than it is to overtake cars that are currently in the middle of a battle, because of course Jason97 F1 here is going to be picking up the DRS off of Limitless here on the run down towards turn 14. So Mike Marshmallow is going to need an almighty run out of there. He's picking up a hell of a slipstream here. Is he going to go side by side with Limitless? Yes, he is. Very, very late on the brakes into turn 14. Looks like he's just about going to get that done. And actually, Mike Marshmallow is going to follow him through, going to try and get that position on Limitless. Oh, no! Yeah, and that's exactly what Mike Marshmallow did not want, and he has lost a little bit of his front left wing. Jason takes that 7th place position, and here comes Ycoms now on STS F1 Alonso, who does seem, Alonso does seem like his pace has dropped down a little bit in the later stages of this race. He was looking far more competitive in the first half of the race. Ycoms with the DRS and stays to the left-hand side. Switching back over to this battle for 7th position. Are they going to make it 3 wide down the straight? Just about, but it looks like Limitless is going to head into turn number 2 without anybody alongside him. So he's going to take that 7th place position for now, but we'll see how much longer that'll last for.
Yeah, Limitless had very big balls there to brake later than the guy that's on the super soft tyres.
Right.
Stu in 6th position, going to go up the inside of Alonso as well. So Alonso's pace has absolutely dropped off. I'm not sure if he's made contact with the wall or something here, because I don't think he has a recording device, but Stu actually compromising his exit there with that move, and loses the position back to Alonso. But Alonso must have made some sort of contact with the wall and lost a bit of his front wing, because his pace has dropped off dramatically. As Mike Marshmallow trying to make a move round the outside of Limitless here, who cuts the corner, and that's going to mean that Mike Marshmallow is going to get a better run, and we'll have DRS as well, as we now see a fantastic camera angle of not just Mike Marshmallow trying to get through, but also Jason, who's going to try maybe up the inside as well of Mike Marshmallow, and he is diving up the inside, but fortunately breaks early enough to not T-bone him, and Limitless still hanging in there with his little bit of damaged front wing and the soft tyres. But well, Limitless is absolutely hanging on to dear life for that 8th position. I think Mike Marshmallow will pull away now with those super soft tyres, as Stu is in 5th position. So he is still hanging on with these super soft tyres. Can we see what they are like, please? I would love to see the tyre wear percentages. As Rosberg, well, his tyres are not going to look very good, and he is into the wall, and that is, well, his race has gone from pretty decent to very, very poor for him, unfortunately. His teammate Jason is going to go up the inside of Limitless once again and makes that move stick up into 8th position. Limitless drops to 9th, but he's going to push back again up the inside. These two AOR veterans going to go side by side. Who is going to come out on top? I think Limitless is, yes he is, with that extra grip on the inside line. Takes that 8th position back. Mike Marshmallow pushing away in 7th. May well start to set his sights on 6th place. But with that little bit of front wing damage, that might well be difficult for the Sauber driver. But Limitless looks like he is struggling with a little bit of oversteer there. And will Jason get back through? We're not sure yet. But Leobot, has he got CRU for company? No, he does not. So Leobot is looking pretty nice in 2nd position right now. But someone who's looking just that little bit nicer is the guy ahead of him, the Flying Finn.
Yeah, the Flying Finn is just, I mean, look at that. 13.4 second gap after almost 21 laps of racing. Stu now sizing up STS F1 Alonso on the rundown towards turn 14. Jason97 F1 still battling with TRL Limitless. These guys just cannot break away from each other. Not that much remaining in this race, just 6 more laps. Oh, as Limitless has gotten hung out here, though, that might be exactly what Jason needed.
Yeah, definitely. With that front wing, a little bit of damage that Limitless has, he may well struggle to catch back up there. As Mike Marshmallow, look at him. He is absolutely flying. He's caught up to Stu and Alonso now. He could easily finish on the podium here with this amount of pace. Let's have a look and see. Mike has to get through Alonso first in the Williams, and well, let's have a look and see. He's got the DRS, but so has Alonso on Stu, who also has the slipstream, and he's going to dive up the inside. Alonso breaking a little bit later on the soft tyres. Mike hitting that apex beautifully up into 6th place, as we now have a little look at Franglish and Strees, I believe this is. And Street is going to go up the inside and take that position back. So those two cannot be separated either by the looks of things, as we now are on board with Stu. And Mike, look at the purchase he gets out of that corner. And Stu, on those absolutely destroyed Super Softs, can do absolutely nothing about Mike Marshmallow, who is flying in that Sauber. What an addition to the league, Justin.
Yeah, I mean, and yeah, as you mentioned, these tires, oh, and that's another, oh gosh, another corner cut for Stu is going to give him another 3-second penalty. Mark Marshmallow, though, as you mentioned, a fantastic addition. In fact, I don't think I've been this excited about the Sauber team since 2012.
Yeah, especially with that new lovely blue livery that we've got in this game now. And Ycoms could come under pressure from Mike by the end of this race. 3.2 seconds. Can Ycoms keep it on the track? Ciaru's not far ahead either. Do these guys have penalties? Is Mike going to get on the podium? Those are the questions that are going to be answered in the next 4 laps. Leobot and Flying Finn look very set for a 1-2, not in terms of teams, but just in terms of positions. Ciaru, great drive from him so far in 3rd position, considering where he was after, I think it was an incident in the first few laps. But he's pulled his way back up into 3rd position. And Ycoms in 4th, catching Ciaru slightly there, 3/10 in the last sector, as Stu can do nothing about Mike, who is just flying away from Alonso in his rear diffuser on those more durable soft tyres. Can Alonso get past him? You would think so, with the DRS as well, and with the downforce of 5 on Stu, he's maybe a slightly bit quicker than Alonso. I think he has 6, and that's a bit of contact again with the side pods, and Stu coming out not too bad, but obviously every slide that he has with those tyres, the more and more pain he is going to feel. Jason has seen Stu and he's got him in his sights, and I think Stu can do absolutely nothing, who locks up into that right-hander. Jason, can he get through? Limitless can do nothing about catching the Ferrari at the moment, but I think Stu may come under pressure from either Limitless as well towards the end of this race. Reversal and Rosberg both battling 16th and 17th on the Super Softs. And is that Reversal into the pits again? I mean, I think I've seen him in the pits more than I have actually on the track.
Yep, that is very unfortunate. Again, fantastic result last time out. It just looks like things have not gone his way. Jason 97 F1, though, clearly smelling blood in the water when it comes to the car ahead of him. That Force India struggling on nearly 20-lap-old Super Softs. In the background as well, Limitless coming under attack. Was that 6 skills? That was 6 skills getting involved. We've got 2 side-by-side battles on the run down towards turn 14, but no, Limitless does not go side-by-side. Stu goes very wide. That's going to lose him 2 positions, possibly even 3 positions. He loses 3 positions in 1 corner. Very unfortunate. 6 skills, though, now up into, I believe that is 9th. Yeah, that is up into 9th. Limitless barely can keep the car on the road, though. He is struggling right now.
Yeah, he is. I think they get a little bit extra tyre wear with the fact that there's a little bit of front wing damage, and that is Rosberg. I mean, what has happened to his race over the course of these 25 laps that we've had so far? And we now have Limitless coming under pressure from 6 skills rather than him battling Jason ahead of him, but he does have DRS to maybe defend with the slipstream as well. Is 6 skills going to dive up the inside? Limitless has 2 laps of fuel as he crashes into the back of Jason, losing completely his left half of his front wing, and Limitless's race has gone from bad to worse. He is down to 10th position now, as we now have race control incident involving Alonso and Stu, causing a minor collision under investigation, as we now have Andre and on board of him in 13th place on the medium compound tyres, and we have a collision there between Strees and Franglish. They finally come together after the amount of side-by-sides that they've had throughout this race, and we are now on board with Leobot cruising in 2nd position, coming probably his best ever drive. I'd have to say he's not going to win the race, but it is definitely up there with one of his best ever drives, considering he is an AOR veteran.
Yeah, I mean, the guy changed positions 26 times at least during this race. I mean, that is absolutely insane. And yeah, we saw that corner cut coming for Ycoms from a mile away.
That's Mike promoted to P4.
Yep. I think you are right about that. Where he is right behind him, in fact, isn't he? Yes, he is. We don't know. Does Ciaru have any penalties? I don't know if we can get information about that right now, but I feel pretty confident that we've seen him with at least some corner cut warnings as well. So he might be losing that podium position potentially. The car behind him, we know, has at least 1 3-second penalty, possibly even multiple. But yeah, this could be a podium for Mike Marshmallow after that incredible race last time out for AOR Reversal. It looks like it's Mike's turn this time. Jason 97 F1 coming under attack from 6 Skills, who is on the super soft tires on the rundown towards turn number 2. He's got the super softs, he's got the DRS, he's got the inside line for turn 2, and now he's got P7 in his pocket, and still another car just ahead of him as they're starting the penultimate lap of this race. So he's still got some additional possible places for 6 Skills to make up here if he can keep pushing and gaining more and more positions. Stu, again, on these now 21-lap-old Super Softs, still struggling. He's got Franglish just behind him by 0.3. Wow. That gap got cut down pretty significantly, so Stu is going to have to worry otherwise. And in fact, 11th place isn't that much further behind him either, so he needs to worry, otherwise he might drop out of the points-paying positions.
Yeah, fantastic drive from Stu, though, to recover an early pit stop and go on the super softs for so long. And just heard in my ear that Ciario has a 3-second penalty, but so does Mike. So Mike will have to pass Ciario if he wants to get a podium, and he's got Ycoms in the way, who I believe may have 6 seconds worth of penalties. So Mike's looking good for 4th position at the moment, as Ycoms is going to be in the... I don't think Mike's not going to have a chance of catching Ciario by the end of this race anyway, I don't think. But these guys are quite close on the racetrack, but not close enough for any overtakes at the moment. 6 Skills having a look at the Williams here, going into the last corner. Can't make anything happen just yet, almost pushing him round as they start their final lap of the race. And they're going to be a little train here, as I think the Williams could come off the worst here, as there's a lot of slipstream and a lot of DRS on offer as Alonso goes defensive. Jason goes up the inside of that defensive move. 6 Skills takes him as well up into 6. No more collisions with Alonso and Jason. Jason comes out so much worse, and he loses the position to Stu as well, who is on those such old super softs. So Jason could come back at Stu by the end of this race, depending on how badly he falls off the cliff on this last lap. Ycoms now coming under pressure from Mike, so Mike is not going to wait to see if Ycoms has any penalties. He's going to try and overtake him before the end of this race.
Yep, he is getting very, very close, and we're approaching the back DRS zone as well. Into the double left-handers at turns 9 and 10, the right-hander at turn 11, and then we've got the DRS zone. Mike Marshmallow with the softer and fresher tires as well. DRS active now, picking up the slipstream. Which side is he going to go to? Ycoms looks like he's going to defend the right-hand side. Mike Marshmallow is going to have to go around the outside at turn 14 here into the braking zone, and it looks like he's got the position done. Ciario a little bit up the road, though. I don't think he is going to be able to grab that podium position, so it was looking possible for a moment there, Matt, that we might see back-to-back Sauber podiums after that fantastic result last time in China for Reversal, but unfortunately it looks like Mike Marshmallow is going to come home in 4th, although a very well-deserved 4th place position. I think Mike Marshmallow might actually be my driver of the day. It's either him or the Flying Finn, because the Flying Finn was absolutely untouchable today.
Yeah, definitely. That's the same too. Oh, collision with Jason and Stu trying to get through, but no, he loses the back end and spins over the line. Just about, I think, there. Yeah, there's collisions over the line as well. But I think it's worth mentioning. Oh, wow, Limitless down in 12th. He is going to finish the race outside of the points, and I do not think that has happened very often, if at all, for Limitless's AOR career. So it's not looking very good for season 12 at the moment. So Limitless, a day to forget for him, as we have a 20-second penalty applied to Alonso for this move on Jason. So it was deemed that Alonso, just completely drove into the side of Jason.
Oh yeah.
And well,
Alonso hit the apex there, and he had a car on his inside. So yep, he did not give enough room. He actually hit the curb.
Yeah. Too easy for the Flying Finn, who deserves a shout out. He didn't get much of a chatting about in this race, but he wins by 21.4 seconds in the end, and was the only driver to not get a penalty, as he wins the race ahead of Leobot. Ciario in 3rd position. Mike Marshmallow so close to a fantastic podium there, but Leobot, great result for him. Ycoms in 5th position, 6 kills up to 6th in the end, with Jason finishing in 7th despite spinning over the line. Franglish in 8th, Andre BCF 1997 in 9th, and Stu somehow coming home with a point after doing 23 laps on super soft tyres, and Alonso demoted to 11th after a 26-second penalty slapped onto him. Otherwise he would have finished in 7th. And looking at the other half, TRL Limitless down in 12th, HCR Cupid in 13th. Both those guys basically battling for the lead in Australia. Yeah. Both of them finishing out of the points. Lucky Dog 2000 now in 14th, Strees in 15th. AOR Reversal, as you mentioned, Justin, he did 3 stops in that race and finishes in 16th place. SB Snowy 17th. CRL Rosbo was on the podium at one point, didn't finish in the end. Burnout F1, he gained about 13 positions and ends up in 19th in the end. That was a mental race.
That was, and Sayaryu moves right up the order though. After that, he's just 17 points adrift of the Flying Finn, ahead of TRL Martin, who was of course absent today, and then a big old gap of 23 points from Martin down to Limitless. After of course Limitless failing to score any points, Leobot jumps right up in the standings into 5th. Fantastic result today. He picked up more than half of his points, in fact, in today's race. So a fantastic result for him. Andre BCF1, he had a difficult race. He started up in 7th. He did come home with a point in the end after everything was said and done. But yeah, he started in the top 10 in 7th position, right behind Ycoms, had a difficult race, managed to claw back a point out of all of that though. And Renault as well with Sayaryu is now up into 2nd position ahead of Mercedes. Force India now up into 4th, and Sauber up into 5th. Look at that, Sauber in the top half. It's been a pretty good season for them. Now we just, if those two guys, if Reversal and Mike Marshmallow can both have the kinds of finishes that they had today and yesterday, but in the same race, then they will be a force to be reckoned with for sure. Haas dropping down into 6th in the championship. Tough day for Haas.
Definitely. So, round 5, the Spanish Grand Prix. I need to lie down and a bit of a breather, but make sure you join us for round 5, the Spanish Grand Prix, the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. It's going to be a good one, I'm sure. I mean, Russia, I didn't expect it to be that good, and it really was, wasn't it, Justin?
Yeah, the field is just so close. These guys are so competitive, and like I said earlier, you know, the honeymoon period is over. These guys, you know, the gloves are off. It's time for some real battling.
Let's see what the rest of the season has in store. The next time is the Spanish Grand Prix. Thank you very much, Justin, for commentating with me today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you next time for round 5. Goodbye.